crazy, magical, intense, beautiful, exciting, terrifying. And August is wrapping up all those energies. So I just wanted to check in with you and see how you are through this transforming eclipse season. So we've had the 7th, we've had our lunar eclipse, and we've had our 8th of the 8th, the Lion's Gateway, which I talked about in my last video. So how's it been treating you all? I hope that it's been kind to you. I know for some of us, the eclipses, especially this year, have been particularly challenging. And then for some of us, this time round has definitely been a bit softer, a bit gentler. I personally haven't found it too intense or too crazy. It's definitely, you know, what I saw, what I felt energetically coming did come up for me as well as for many people around me. I spoke about the download I had from the angels about the Lion's Gateway on the 8th of the 8th, and how it was important to express your anger in a very tempered way. I definitely had an experience with a family member where I got to say something that I felt really, really needed to be said. And it had to be said from a place of the lioness, the courage, you know, having the courage to say this, even though it's something I wouldn't normally say. In fact, it was something that for years I had been sweeping under the rug. Everybody had been sweeping under the rug. And my soul just felt tired. My soul felt enough is enough. I can't heal till I get this off my chest. I can't move on and be clear and drop that old story until I let this person know how much hurt was caused to me. So even though it caused a big ruckus and it had dramatic effects, as I knew it would, maybe not to the extent, I didn't think it'd probably be that powerful, but that's got to be irrelevant, you know. This was something that I felt needed to be honored, and my feelings around this needed to be honored and validated. But the angels were definitely right. There was caution necessary. It was important to just to be calm about it and not to freak out. And I think initially I did have a little bit of a freak out with those energies, but that was just part of eclipse season. You know, I'm 36. I've been riding the eclipse waves now a long time, like the same as you, and I just don't freak out about them anymore. I used to really go into a fearful or insecure place with the eclipse season. I don't anymore. I just go, it's the eclipses, you know, we're all in this together, and it's definitely going to highlight things and bring things out into the open, which it does. And then you can just heal, say your piece and move on. So that's what's happened. No big deal. What else did I want to talk to you about? Yes, so on the 21st of August, then we have the completion. We have the full eclipse, the solar eclipse, and it's bringing everything to completion, and it's tying up all those loose ends, and it'll be the culmination of this summer season that we've had. So I would advise you to be prepared, because eclipses do eclipse things out of our lives. They do serve us in a way that can be quite dramatic. It can be intense, and it can be quite a shock sometimes. Like this time of year when these eclipses are happening, you know, you can do all the prep work in the world, but you can still, like I was prepped the last 2 weeks leading up to this time, but it's still always, the universe has this magical way of still, it never ceases to surprise. It always gets me, you know, which is beautiful and exciting and terrifying all at once. So yeah, it's never a dull moment anyways, shall we say. I'm a Taurus, so I really love, you should check out Susan Miller. She's a really, really good astrologer. And she was saying that this eclipse for the Taurines brings us back to, we had a similar eclipse, it's got to do with a similar thread or pattern or theme from 1998. So I was thinking back to 1998 in my life, and I was 17, as far as I know, doing my maths, maybe, yeah, I think I was 17, roughly. And it was a magical time, actually. It was a really, really special year. It was one of the happiest years of my life, actually, because there was massive transformations that year. And it's interesting because I feel like it's really on a par with the transformations that have been happening for me in the last 2 months. The last 2 or 3 months have been really just like extremes, you know, from ending up in hospital with the ambulance to finding my dream home and, you know, starting this beautiful new relationship, romantic relationship. And I have to say, I do feel there's going to be some shift around work for a lot of people. That's what I'm feeling. And I can see it with the people around me as well. If it's not home related, home or work, those kind of grounded things that we rely on and we often think are very secure and set in place. I'm feeling things kind of definitely move around that. But I mean, I literally moved, I moved about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So like some of you, you may find that with the eclipses, you can sometimes feel the effects of it a month before the actual eclipse or a month after. It doesn't always necessarily happen smack bam on the day. It's this frequency transformation that can be picked up before or can be picked up after. And astrologers say that eclipses effects can actually be felt even 6 months, like 9 months down the line. So I do think my energy type, I often pick up on things. I'm a precogger, so, you know, being someone who sees things, I feel things. If there's even the slightest little change in frequency, I'll feel it before it's even had a chance to flesh out or manifest. So I think that's why I was moving like a few weeks before, and probably why this week of the actual partial eclipses and these weeks in August are not so dramatic for me, because I kind of had my dramatic, intense transformation early. But you may be someone who'll have them late, and that can happen. You can think, oh, the eclipses are over. You know, you could go past the 21st of August and be like, well, I rode that wave and I'm totally fine, and I didn't. And then you'll find in September you have your big hit, then your shock, your transformation. So just be aware of that. Like, it's not all about those 24 hours, you know, it does kind of vary, and it does, it is going to affect us all individually and collectively as well. So to be aware of that. So yeah, I always find with August, it's like I know summer is coming to an end, and it kind of puts a pep in my step and makes me want to really up my game with regards to, you know, just really enjoying life and making the most of the sunshine and that summery feeling, and enjoying the ease of pulling on a summer dress and a t-shirt, or just being able to just get out and go up the cliffs and get into nature a lot, you know, at my leisure, which is wonderful, because the Irish winters can be cold, and you kind of are inclined to go into more hibernation mode, which has its own beauty and has its own romance about it. But I am definitely a summer girl at heart. I do love the heat and the sunshine and the clear blue skies. So, you know, I was just thinking how clever nature is with seasons, because it really, you know, as humans, sometimes we do need a bit of a timeline. You know, we need a bit of a kick up the bum sometimes to really appreciate where we are in life. And I think the change of seasons does that for us. It refocuses us. It helps us tune into different elements of our nature. Like in summer, we're very active, you know, we're probably more health conscious. We're definitely more social, you know, all that vitamin D, and as I said, the weather, and, you know, meeting up with friends and family. And then in winter, there's other aspects that we tune into ourselves. Maybe we go more internal. I think autumn for me is quite an internal time. I definitely feel nostalgic in autumn. I think it's, you know, as the winter approaches, then I go deeper and deeper inside of myself, which is a beautiful thing as well, and very necessary, so that, you know, you're prepped then for spring to be more outward, and then with summer you're definitely more out in the world and more grounded in the world. So yeah, I do love that change of season for all seasons, because they all have their special qualities and their special energies that help us tune into, as I said, different layers, different aspects of ourselves. So yeah, I just hope that you're having a beautiful summer. I hope that the eclipses have been kind to you, and if you're having a really, really rough time, I do Skype sessions. If you're visiting Ireland or you are local in Ireland, I have my clinic in Dunleary, so I have a therapy room there, and I help people feel a whole lot better. I do different types of shamanic work. I do angel healing. I also do readings. I do meditation, mindfulness, breath work, but mainly my gift is I tune in to your angels, your spiritual guides, and I'm told, they guide me how best to help you. They'll show me your soul path. I can read your energy. They'll tell me what's going on in your heart of hearts, and we can explore that together, and we can help you to heal whatever's going on and to uplift your frequency so that you can move into a happier, clearer space in your life. So yes, do email me if you want to book a session, and we can arrange that for you. As I said, enjoy this very, very transformative high frequencies of the fifth dimension, August, that we're in now. I really feel, for me, it's actually my best friend was just saying this to me on the phone. It felt like the universe saw me, you know, living out the remnants of my 3D, third dimensional life, and was like, oh no, you know, you're not meant to be there anymore. You've transformed into the 5D Aoibheann, and just plucked me and put me into my fifth dimensional paradise, which has been absolute, like, there's just no words. This joy I feel for this summer and for this time in my life. It's a very, very enriching time. So, you know, just, you know, ride the bumps, go up the mountain, come down the other side. Eclipses are all about bringing up your vulnerabilities, your fears, your insecurities. And it's also about bestowing gifts and transformation. And like I said, helping to pluck you from the old concepts, the old programs that are obsolete now. They're futile, they don't work. And you know, that was part of the anger that had to come up. That Lion's Gateway, which really encouraged us to step into our courage and our sense of acknowledging and validating and honoring our own feelings about things, and being able to say, you know, no matter what the social conditioning, this was my experience. This is how I felt having that experience with you, or sharing that experience with you, or you know, this is my perspective on that. And being able to own that, and being able to say, it's really, you know, I have to be allowed to own that. I have to be allowed to claim my truth before I can let that old third dimensional story go. And there is great power in claiming something and then witnessing it and then letting it go. But the key there is you have to be willing, after you've owned your story and you've shared your story, to know it's just a story, and to let the story go,